Hello, welcome to the channel, Rockosaurus Rex, where we dive into all things dinosaur and other prehistoric animals. Today, we will bear witness to the march of the Ornithopods. What you see before you, we've got 6 models from the company known as PNSO, and we will be doing a very brief overview of each individual model, the creature the models represent, just to catch us all up on these various species, so we'll know what I have when I use them for comparison with future dinosaur models. The PNSO, a little something about them. They're well known for their attention to detail and realism, most especially when it comes to their prehistoric animals. When you consider we can only truly go off of supposition when we're trying to recreate what these creatures look like, and PNSO is top notch when it comes to that. And the attention to detail and like I said, the realism is why I'm really into PNSO at this time. I collect other lines too, but right now PNSO is my jam. So we have here Ornithopods, and with the exception of one, I've got one critter here that is not one, but placed him here simply because Ornithopods for the most part are bipedal. Even though they can walk on 4s, and they probably did a lot of the times, they can also rear up and walk on their hind legs. So they are bipedal, but they're also quadrupedal, as you can see right there in front of you. But there is one animal I have here that is not technically an ornithopod, even though all of these creatures are ornithian, meaning they're bird-hipped dinosaurs. You have bird-hipped dinosaurs, and you have dinosaurs that are called lizard-hipped. Lizard-hipped dinosaurs are theropods and sauropods. Everything else are bird-hipped dinosaurs. So that means stegosaurs, ankylosaurs, and of course the critters you see right here before you. They all fall under that category. So some more about ornithopods. They actually started out in the Jurassic period, the mid-Jurassic, and they lasted all the way up to the end of the dinosaurs' reign in the late Cretaceous, 65.5 million years ago. So they were, and especially according to all of the fossils found, one of the most successful groups of dinosaurs to exist. That they definitely lived in herds. There have been plenty of fossils of various ornithopod dinosaurs found, and so we've learned a lot simply because of that. So enough about that. We're going to kick us off. First up to bat will be the lone critter that is not technically an ornithopod, but I had him in there simply because he was a bipedal dinosaur. And the funny thing is, despite that, this critter is more closely related to ceratopsians than ornithopods. And this critter who I'm speaking of is Pachycephalosaurus, known as the thick-headed lizard. That's what Pachycephalosaurus means. And as you can see, he's got that big bony head, which we'll take a look at when we get closer up. Taking a look at Pachycephalosaurus' skull, you could see why it was so named thick-headed lizard. You can see right there, look at all of that. It was said that all of this bone right here, knobby bone, 9 inches thick. So that's just crazy right there. You see you've got the spiky type of appendages sticking out the back there. Pretty cool. He's got the big doughy kind of eyes, blue eyes, black pupils. Looking at that snout there, there's bony appendages going down the snout there. You see how the skull starts off light, and then as it goes down it gets darker. And yeah, going down as always with PNSO, you could see the wrinkles and all of the great detail. You can see it had small forelimbs and nice long hind limbs. They were more than likely fast animals. I will say this about Pachycephalosaurus. Just about everything we know of this creature is supposition because not much of it was found. It's assumed it looks this way. It's assumed that it's bipedal, and there are other things that are assumed of this creature. It's assumed that it was about 15 feet long, like 14.8. I think they estimated how long it was supposed to be. They really don't know. This model measures 7 inches from snout to tail, and about 2.5 inches tall. Those measurements that would put this creature at 20 feet long. So 7 inches puts it out of scale. If you want to go by what would make it a legitimate 15-footer, it would be a 1/27 scale. So that's about it. So let's zoom out to take a one more look at our Pachycephalosaurus. If I didn't mention it already, he goes by the name of Austin. PNSO loves naming their dinosaurs, giving them many times cute names. So yeah, just so you can get some looks at the different angles. There you have it right there. We'll get a look at him straight on, and that will be our execute for Austin the Pachycephalosaurus. Next up, we have Harvey the Iguanodon. I chose Harvey to go next, and technically first of the Ornithopods, because Iguanodons dated back all the way to the mid-Jurassic, about 229 million years, and they bled over into the early Cretaceous. So they were one of the first to kick ornithopods off. Even though the Jurassic had plenty of ornithopods, they had dinosaurs like Camptosaurus there. So there were other ornithopods running around. Iguanodon was located in a lot of places: Asia, Europe, and North America. As far as Europe's concerned, they found fossils of Iguanodon in Belgium, Germany, England, and Spain. So he definitely got his European tour on for sure. They were about 30 feet long. They could grow up to about 30 feet long. So this model from snout to tail measures 10 and a half inches, something like that. And at a 1/35th scale, that would put it at around 31 feet. So this is near perfect for scalation with a 1/35 scale figure. So I'm very happy about that. Some of the things that Iguanodon is known for are the spike thumbs that it had on its forelimbs. We'll investigate that when we get closer up, but you can already see one of those spikes protruding from Harvey's right leg there, but we'll look at it a little bit closer. So looking at Harvey's skull first, you can see he's got the blood orange eyes with the black pupils. That seems to be a motif with a few of PNSO's figures I'm now discovering. I've said that for a few of the models, and not necessarily all from the same species or groupings. It's been like all over the place. So, but anyway, looking at Harvey right here, you can see how that skull is basically so very nice. Let me get right to the highlight, what the Iguanodon is known for. The spikes on the forelimbs, if it'll actually show. There we go. I guess I'll have to do it this way. Yeah, there you go. So you can see the spikes there. They were thought to have been used to for defense, but also for like digging up shrubs and roots and stuff so they can get to them. So yeah, but we're going to zoom out so we can take a look at the entire animal. So here we go with Harvey now. I'm looking at the all of him, see what he's got going on. Same old with PNSO, and I mean that in a good way, and their attention to detail, and the paint apps, as with PNSO, kind of bland. But you already, if you've been following me, you already know my take on my theory when it comes to larger animals. I just don't think that they would be all that colorful. But anyway, looking at Harvey, his head is slightly turned to his right, so you've got some nice wrinkles right there. I mean, I love when I see that type of attention to detail. You see the striping going along there, and as it goes down to the limbs, the striping stops, and there are some lighter spots there. You've got the spiked thumbs and the rear. I guess those are technically spikes too. The hooves on the toes there. Same thing with the back. But before you even get there, you see that the nice stretched skin, and you see the toes there. Pretty cool. You see the spines going down the back all the way to the end of the tail. And then on the other side, you've got more of the wrinkles. You see that his left leg is, he pushed off of it, and he's walking forward, so that one is drawn back. Whereas you can see, you got more wrinkles right there at the hip area of the top there, and you see the wrinkles there. So yeah, great attention to detail, and get a couple angles of Harvey. You see that right there. Flip it to right there, and then finally you get the more or less straight on shot. So that'll do it for Harvey the Iguanodon. Before Harvey goes, it should be noted that Iguanodon was the second dinosaur to actually be described behind Megalosaurus. And in fact, how long ago Iguanodons were discovered? Way back in 1825, so that's pretty crazy. And Iguanodons were one of 3 dinosaurs, including Megalosaurus, that they were what caused scientists to be able to describe what dinosaurs were. So figured I'd throw that little bit of trivia in. We have Caroline the Corythosaurus. Corythosaurus stands for helmet head, and they were around in the upper or late Cretaceous, about 77 to 75 million years ago. So, and they were in North America. That's something else. They got to about 30 feet long, and this model with the curvature in the tail and stuff is about 10.5 inches long. If you were to stretch the tail out, it'd be nearly 12 inches long. So I could tell you right there, just off, without even thinking about it, off the top of the dome, that puts Caroline out of scale if she's supposed to be 30 feet long. So yeah, you're gonna have to just play the role with that one. You were to do the measurements of Caroline as is with the slight curvature in her tail, and if you did that at 10.5, that would actually put her at the 1/35 scale. It would be 30 feet long if she were a living animal. But if you stretch the tail out and just put it at about 12, then she'd come in at about 35, so she would be oversized. She's more of the 1/30 scale. But yeah, she does seem pretty large, but she is beautiful when you look at her. So there is that. So we got that out the way. So let's take a look at her skull up close, because crested dinosaurs, crested hadrosaurs, I should say, that's the highlight of their anatomy. So now we can take a better look at Caroline's skull right there. and you can see that crest, and you can understand why Corythosaurus was named helmet lizard. And PNSO has done a wonderful job recreating Corythosaurus here. I usually go in on them about the drabness of their colors, or I don't really go in, I just point it out. But that's not the case with Carolina Corythosaurus here, especially in the crest area. That is just a beautiful amalgam of colors there. Her eyes is actually white eyes with the black pupils. So finally a change of pace from the blood orange that we've been getting. And you see she's got the dark, it's almost like she's been not getting any sleep, but it looks pretty there. Looking at the snout, you can see the different colors going ranging there. Then it ends in like a really dark colored right there at the snoot itself. So yeah, pretty nice. You see the yellow and the browns and the tans there. It's really a very nice paint apps that PNSO has applied to Caroline there. You see the patchwork there. You've got the scoots going down the back, and there's a slight hump there Corythosaurus had. I don't know if you guys can see that, but yeah, she has a slight hump. I'll move it back some so maybe you can see right along there. So that's pretty cool. There are other hadrosaurs that had even larger humps, like Ornithosaurus, which I do hope they PNSO makes a model of. They are lacking in hadrosaurs that did not have crests. Every hadrosaur they've got has some sort of head ornament. So hopefully that will get corrected one day. But yeah, you could probably see it more defined there, that slight hump along the spine there. And the same story with the attention to detail. You see the wrinkles. You see how nicely the feet are painted. You see the nice hooves there and the forelimbs. You see how long the forelimbs are. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And going down the tail, you got all of that beautiful artwork going right down the tail. Turn to the other side, you get the same thing. Look at that attention to detail with the stretching right there, as she's already pushed off with her right leg. And yeah, pretty nice. That is Caroline the Corythosaurus. So let's zoom out to get full body shots of her. So there you can see from one angle, as we turn her, you can peep her out from the other side there. You see the tail is sweeping. She's coming from around that rock piece that I've got back there. So yeah, then of course we've got to do the semi face up, and there it is. So wave goodbye to Caroline. Next up to bat, we have Audrey the Lambeosaurus. Lambeosaurus was a duck-billed dinosaur that also lived in the late Cretaceous, about 75 million years ago, in and around the same time and areas as Corythosaurus. In fact, there has been some confusion because some have thought that Lambeosaurus and Corythosaurus were more or less the same species with different type of head crests, maybe signifying different stages of their development as they aged. But like I said, it's just led to confusion. It's nothing solid. Nothing's been proven, disproven, or anything like that. It's all speculative at this point. Lambeosaurs, like I said, they were in the same regions that Corythosaurs were, so that means North America. They've been found up in Canada, Mexico, and of course the United States. From what I gather, they only recognize the two. There are two species from Canada, and those are the only two that are legitimately recognized, that are considered, we'll call it, valid. Anyhow, Lambeosaurs were about 30 feet long, just like Corythosaurs, but strangely enough, this model is much smaller than Caroline the Corythosaurus. And It measures 10 inches, and at the 1/35th scale, that would come out to about 30 feet, 29, just under 30 feet. So that puts it right in scale at the 135. So yeah, there is that, since about 4.5 feet tall at its highest point. And yeah, but once again, we've got another beautiful rendition of an animal as painted by PNSO. Let's take a closer look. You're gonna look at Artie's head right here. You can see once again, just like with the Corythosaurus, the crest is beautiful, and the crest is these hadrosaurs claim to fame. The different designs have really astonished scientists and people that are just into dinosaurs, period. You can see with the eyes, we're back to the orange eyes with the black pupils, but looking all doughy-eyed and everything. You see though that crest, you see at the top there, it's black, and then it goes red very rapidly into an orange down, and then the animal itself is a green with look at the I guess we'll call it striping, some type of mesh type of striping when you go further down. It looks pretty good though. Look at the front there with the snout. Got that that brownish red line going right down the center, and then it darkens off at the end of the snout. So that's pretty nice. And looking at the animal itself, once again, look at that stripe work, and I don't even know what to call it, but it looks pretty nice. And then of course you've got the scoots along the spine. It also has a very slight hump, as I guess is typical with hadrosaurs. And you got that striping, it's true striping now, going down the legs, so that looks pretty good. Then when you get to the tail, it also tapers off as striping all the way to the end of the tail. Looking at the other side, start off at that tail again as we go up, and you see all of that stripe work once again. There's some wrinkles right there. Got a nice little pot belly there. You see the stretching right there of the skin as the right hind leg is begun being pushed off of. So that's pretty good. She's looking off to her right a little bit, so there's some wrinkling going right there where her head, her skull meets her neck. And yeah, so pretty nice animal. We'll kick off the last shots. We'll kick it off with her looking at us more or less head on. This would technically be about head on for her because of how her head is positioned, and looking at her from one angle, and then finishing up her little modeling session by looking from the other angle. Next up, we have Wyatt the Parasaurolophus, or Parasaurolophus, however you want to pronounce it. It's been spoken both ways. Another crested hadrosaurid, and as you can see, another very impressive crest structure there. It was, of course, late Cretaceous, about 76 to 73 million years ago. It lived in North America, a lot of the same places that Lambeosaurus and Corythosaurus lived. In fact, it lived alongside a lot of creatures that are known and are represented in PNSO. Spinops, Centrosaurus. That's it's going to make for a nice display if you want to use them all from the dinosaur park formation, which is where a lot of the fossils were found. So that's cool. As far as predatory dinosaurs, that was an area. We're talking about Gorgosaurus, Daspletosaurus. So Tyrannosaurs definitely were their nemesis. Parasaurolophus on average grew a little bit bigger than Corythosaurus and Lambeosaurus at about 31 feet. This model from snout to tail is a little over 10 inches. If you do your calculations for 1/35 scale, that puts this at about, it would make it about a 30.5 foot long animal. So that's right there at 1/35 scale. So for a stickler like me, that's just great. So having said that, what else? Oh yeah, Parasaurolophus. The name means near crested lizard. So I don't know where the near comes from. It looks pretty crested to me, but let's take a closer look at that crest. So now that we've got Wyatt up here, I'm going to back him up a little bit because he seems to be just a little bit blurry to me. So now that I've moved him back just a hair, he's got blue eyes with the black irises. Look at that first off, but now we're going to take a look at that crest. You can see how impressive his crest is. Starting off kind of yellow all the way in the back, it works its way down, it becomes orange, it gets darker as it gets further down. You see how it ends with the snout there. Pretty nice. He's got dark colored eyes there, brownish dark, and his face is like tan. Then you go down the neck, pretty decent long neck. You can see the wrinkles there. His head is turned slightly to his right. Then as you go down, you can see pretty brown, and then it gets tan as it gets towards his belly. His forelimbs, they start off light and then they end kind of dark there at the bottom with hooves. You can see some nice wrinkles as his right hind leg is pressing forward there, so that's pretty nice. And looking at the top there, he's got the nice scoots and a slight hump as well, and you got that striping, and it tapers all the way down to the tip of the tail. Looking at the other side, going from that tip of the tail and working our way up, you see that left leg is pushing off. Let's see if I can get us back in focus here. Is pushing us off here. There we go. You can see that. You see the stretching of the skin right there. You can see more stretching right there. I love that attention to detail. All of that, the striping, and yeah, pretty nice. So let's put our boy Harvey. Is it Harvey or is it Wyatt? Wyatt. Put Wyatt down. Getting my names mixed up. And we'll zoom out. So here we'll look at Wyatt from one angle. We'll look at him sort of head on. And then of course the other angle right there. And there's one other thing I'd like to do. Since all three of these species more or less coexisted, I wanted to get a group shot of them. So there you have it. You've got the Lambeosaurus, Corythosaurus, and the Parasaurolophus. Bringing up the rear is Ivan the Olorotitan. Now you wonder why they call him Ivan. That's because fossils of this critter have been found in far eastern Russia. It's also been found in China, and so hence the name Ivan for the Russian finds. And Olorotitan was, they estimate that it grew from about 26 to 39 feet. This model is based on the 26-foot version. Ivan here measures as is about 6.5, but his tail is kind of slightly curved, and you see that his head is turned severely to the left. If you were to stretch it out, that 6.5 would actually come out to around 8 inches. So if you do your calculations for the 1/35 scale, Ivan would come in at about 23 feet. So he's still out of scale. He's still undersized for that scale, but it'll still fit in nicely. You know, it could just not be a full-grown Olorotitan, especially since they were estimated to grow up to 39 feet, meaning that Olorotitan is theoretically one of the larger and largest hadrosauran dinosaurs. So you do have that. So let's take a look at Ivan's skull and crest. So looking at Ivan's crest, you can see how beautiful that crest is. I mean, it's just glorious how nice all of the crests on these hadrosaurs look. It starts off black and tapers into an orange, and then it goes down. The eyes, let's see what's up with Ivan's eyes. His pupils are a different color, almost. It's not white. Maybe they're kind of grayish with black pupils, but at least it's different. Then looking at the front there, you can see what we got going on. Head is turned, as I stated, severely to the left, so you can see some nice wrinkles right there. Attention to detail, PNSO. See that throat right there? It looks pretty good. Going down, that the hump, which is characteristic of hadrosaurs, and of course you got the scoots. Looking at the paint job in the body, it's like a brownish color that works its way down into tan for the belly. There's some yellow in there. You can see some of that shading there, and you had to have noticed that Ivan Olorotitan is reared up on its hind legs, the first hadrosaur to do so, and unfortunately that makes this PNO's first tripod dinosaur too, so it is what it is. You'll see what I'm talking about if you hadn't seen it already when we zoom out. But looking at the hooves down there, you can see we've got wrinklation right there as he scrunched towards his left, so you got the wrinkles right there. I think I created a word when I said wrinklation, but yeah, you see the stretching here in the back. That's pretty cool. Looking at the feet, and the striping that starts there at the base of the tail and works its way down to the tapering of the tail. Turning around, you see that on the other side. You see the right leg that Ivan is pushed off on. Got the nice stretchies right there, and some wrinkles over there, and some more wrinkles as Ivan is turning extremely to his left there. So there you have it. We'll set Ivan up this way for now as we zoom out. It should be noted, I didn't state this at the beginning, but Olorotitan, Parasaurolophus, Corythosaurus, and of course Lambeosaurus, they're all crested dinosaurs, and they all fall under the category of Lambeosaurian dinosaurs. Lambeosaurus was found first, so Lambeosaurus got the name for the genus, and everything else that's discovered falls under that genus. So yeah, basically crested hadrosaurs are considered Lambeosaurian dinosaurs, and like I said, the non-crested ones, we don't have any from PNSO, so they need to get on it. Anyway, looking at Ivan here, you can see what I'm talking about. The tail is actually hitting the ground there, so he's going to stand fine, unfortunately. If it gets hot, he comes with a stand, and if he starts to lean over, he won't be a tripod anymore, but he'll need the help of that stand. So this is how you kind of sort of want him to stand, but he naturally stands just like that. Looking at him from another angle, there he is. It looks like he's on scouting. He looks like he may have heard a noise and looking to see if it's predators lurking. And we get the final look right there. So yep, that's it for our guy Ivan, the Olorotitan. And so as we close out with the group shot of our Ornithopods plus Pachycephalosaurus, you see we've got well, technically five Ornithopods, 4 hadrosaurids, and they're all very nice models, and we are going to be getting some more, I'm quite sure. I've got another hadrosaur on deck, and I'll be reviewing that critter next, so stay tuned for that. Anyhow, here's our group shot, and we'll go around. We've got the Iguanodon, we've got the Olorotitan in the center there, we've got Pachycephalosaurus. To our immediate right, lower right, we've got Lambeosaurus. The back, we got Corythosaurus, and at top, we have the Parasaurolophus. So therein ends the march of the Ornithopods. Thank you for sticking around and hanging with me as I do this overview. And I know this is a long one, but I felt it needed to be done. I call it playing catch up, if it were. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please subscribe. I'm very new with this channel, so it's going to be slow moving. I'm going to set a goal for myself. I want to try to get about 200 subscribers by the end of July. So Whatever you guys can do to help me would be greatly appreciated. Please comment below on what you think of the animals, my review, anything I left out, anything I got wrong. Please let me know, because the mission here is to get it right. If you want to be notified for another video that I'll upload, hit that bell and that will happen for you. And so yeah, until next time, thank you very much, and take care.